Like life, football is a game of mistakes. Whoever makes the least mistakes wins. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Athlete Podcast sponsored by Sports for Champions. Today I'm delighted to be joined by professional footballer and Sheffield United star Tamara Wilcock. How are you doing, Tamara?
Yeah, good, thank you.
So really happy to have you here. Actually our third signing from Sheffield United, so great to have you on board. Can you tell us a little bit about how you first got into football?
Well, when I was young, me and my sister, we started off as dancers and gymnastics and football, and then it got a little bit much, so we had to choose a sport because my mum was like running here, there and everywhere with us, so we both chose football and yeah, just kicked off from there.
Right, could have been all so different. You could have been doing tumbling
I know.
or what out of those, which is the one that you kind of have a bit of a niggling thought, like, oh, that would have been quite good to see where I got.
At the time I loved gymnastics, but now I feel like I would love to be able to dance properly. I always like to think I can dance, but
most people have that problem. And you come from a sporting family?
Yeah, I guess my mum's always loved sport, and when she was at school she always used to play every sport possible, so yeah.
So you were playing with your sister, did you say, when you were young?
Yeah.
What's the age gap between you?
3 years.
3 years. You're the oldest?
No, I'm the youngest.
Oh really? So usually you're the one that was stuck in net while she took shots. That's how me and my brother went.
Yeah.
And then were you both a similar level, or would you say that is she playing football now?
Yeah, she plays in the league below. So yeah, she wants to play in my league, so hopefully we can play there together.
Any rivalry?
Yeah, there was always rivalry as a kid. I always played in the boys team and she started with the girls, so if she ever came to train with us, we'd always want to be on opposite teams.
And then playing for the boys team is typical of most of the sort of female footballers that we speak to. There just wasn't access to girls teams. Was that the same for you?
Yeah, so I started with the boys just because of that reason, and my sister started at a later age to me, so then there was girls teams for her, but yeah, I think I went to a girls team at about 10 or 11 and I started at 6, so yeah, a few years with.
Yeah, it took a little while, doesn't it? And I think as the women's game grows, you are starting to see so much more grassroots kind of fill out. What was the perception of a girl playing in the boys team at that time?
You know what, for me, from my team, I actually never had the like, oh, you're a girl. It was always, I were always very included, which was nice. I think it's more when you're playing oppositions and they see that there's a girl on the team where it's a bit like, oh, like we'll target the girl. But at the same time, I think playing with the boys made me a much better player in terms of strength and stuff. Like I could always keep up with them and that. So yeah, I think I've never actually experienced within my team any segregation just because I'm a girl, which has been nice.
Yeah, that's really good. And then I imagine the opponents changed the tune once you started playing and you started banging goals in.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually a centre-back when I was a kid. And then I'd be that player that in the last 10 minutes they'd stick me up top because I'd score an header or something.
No
so,
way.
Yeah.
That's so funny. What do you think it was that made you a centre-back back then? Were you just tenacious in the tackle, or...?
Yeah, I don't know. I was always really strong, and I think when I was younger I was actually one of the taller ones in the team, so I just got stuck there, but now I'm one of the smallest, so.
Funny, isn't it? And then during school, were you playing for your school team, or did you to keep it kind of separate?
Yeah, I always played at school. Again, we had a mixed team, and then I think it was when I went to secondary that they made just a girls team, which was also good. But yeah, again, I was with the boys at school, which was nice.
When's the first time that a club kind of got in contact and started taking a look at you?
Well, I always played grassroots football until under 16s. I moved to Sheffield Utd at under 16s. But yeah, a lot of people have grown up in academies and stuff, but mine was literally only under 16s and then the first team really. So I had a bit of a different look on it.
Yeah, so it's actually not too long ago, I guess, that they got in touch with you. Do you remember how that came about?
I think so. I played one season at Doncaster Bell's grassroots team, and I think we'd played Sheff Wednesday, and one of the dads there worked for Sheffield United. And growing up, I'd always played against like his team, like Sheff Wednesday, and he was like, "I'm gonna put you on Sheffield United, because like you've always been one of the standouts playing against you every season, and then it literally just took off from there. Went to trials. Well, I went to trials knowing that I were already in the team, which was nice.
Yeah, I bet.
And then yeah.
Do you remember your first game?
I actually can't. I can't remember my first game for Sheffield United. And I remember when I got awarded captain, which was nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, first season there when I was captain. So.
Wow. What do you think it is about you that they gave obviously so early into your career and decided you should have the armband?
I don't know. I've always been like inclusive, and I'm quite a bubbly person, so I just chat with everyone, and I get along with people, and I'm quite on the pitch. I'm quite like a dominant player, and at that point I was playing centre. I've gone all through the central phases. I was centre back, then at Sheffield United I was centre mid, and I feel like in a central role, like you've got quite a big part to play on the pitch. So yeah, just got awarded captain and took it on really.
Just the goalkeeper to go.
I know.
No. Good. You're no good in that.
No way. I'd give it a go, but no, don't like it.
So I believe you had a fairly successful first league game for Sheffield United. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. So our manager left at Christmas, and we had interim for a while, and that's when like my career kind of took off. They really believed in me, and I got a few starts. It started in the cup, and then they started me in the league, and yeah, scored my first goal, which was great. We was losing 1-0, and just before half time, I think it was like the 43rd minute or something, scored, which was great. The reaction was unreal.
That's amazing. We don't normally do this, but I'm going to put it on screen now because it's such a good goal. I feel like everyone at home deserves to see it, so we'll put that on the screen there. What was a feeling like that? Did that give you a load of confidence to take forward into the rest of the season?
Yeah, definitely. I think when you're going into your first start, you're a bit nervous and you're not actually expecting to score. And I think it was a crucial point in the game just before half time to like reboot and get the girls going again. So yeah, it was nice.
What a start. So I know that you've struggled a little bit with injuries following that. It can be really difficult for professional athletes to not be able to do not just what they love, but also what is the purpose, really, isn't it? Can you tell us a bit about your injuries and how you've dealt with them?
Well, my first proper injury was when I was 17, and I ruptured the ligaments in my ankle, so I had to have surgery. And I think obviously being so young, it was difficult, and it was my first season with the first team, so it weren't nice. But I think I had to come in over off period, and I had another girl with me who was injured, which she was a bit older, and it was nice just to have that support system to feel like you've got someone going along, like going through it with you.
So is that everyone on the holidays and you're in the treatment room?
Yeah,
That's tough.
I had to go in every other day for treatment and doing my rehab. But again, like, because I had the other girl with me, like, it was nice to go through it, not like alone, especially being young. But I think it just pushed me to just want to get back as quick as possible and do my thing again. And then I've got another injury that set me back a bit. But I think, again, like, injuries is a setback with a great comeback for me. I think you can't take it like in the moment. You got to think how you can come back better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess in the treatment room, then you get to kind of build up the strength around that injury in that time. Do you feel like you actually do come back a bit stronger? Because I think that tends to be the case, doesn't it? Yeah,
definitely. I think it's a time to like reflect and just get better as a person. I think you come back from injury the fittest that you've ever been, because all they do is make you run when you come back. But yeah, I think it's just a time to focus on other things that you might not focus on when you're just playing every day, like more gym work and again fitness. Yeah.
There you go. So can we talk a little bit, going back a little bit, just to touch on your school life? Were you somebody who enjoyed school?
I enjoyed primary school more than I enjoyed secondary school. No, I don't know, I enjoyed the first part of my school, then I went through a little bit of a blip, and then I enjoyed the last part. So I think year 8 to 10 didn't really do it. Year 7 and 11 my best years.
There you go. So moving into now you're a pro footballer, you're playing for Sheffield United. What does a typical day of training look like?
So I live at home, so I travel about half an hour to training in the morning, and I'll eat my breakfast at football, just so it's just better timing, otherwise I eat too early. And then we have a meeting. It's either analysis of the previous game or on the next game, or just going through the training session. And then we'll train for a couple of hours, have lunch roughly about 12ish, and then we'll have gym, and then go home after gym, shower and go home.
What's your favourite part of the day? What's the best bit? Don't say breakfast.
Lunch. No, just training. I think training's the best bit.
The playing football.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's good.
Is there anything in training you don't like? I know that now with a lot more analysis in the game, I think people are doing a lot more like set piece drills and things like that. Is there anything that you don't particularly look forward to?
Running at the end of sessions if we've got extras. No, set pieces is a bit slow, but I think it's part of the game, and obviously you've just got to get through it. Not really anything that I don't really look forward to. I just get on with it. Just one of those players. Just get on with it.
That's the best way to be.
I know.
So obviously the women's game's growing rapidly. We've had some success, obviously, winning the Euros, World Cup final. It's been talked about in the national media so much more now, and even just in people that you tend to meet. Can you tell us a bit about the funding aspect? I know that it's something that's got some way to catch up to the men's game, to say the least. But there is things like Sports for Champions, hopefully, that can kind of bridge that gap.
Yeah, I think in terms of funding for the women, like it's going better. I think especially since like the women Euros, winning the Euros, and like now the World Cup, they've done really well. I think it's getting bigger, coverage is getting better, and obviously companies like you guys, Sports for Champions, I think it's really helping athletes outside of the sport. Like for me, this will definitely help, just little things, being able to, I think, like obviously just being able to live a bit like what you, it's hard to get proper jobs around football and schedules and stuff, but I think just being able to have that extra support in terms of like financial situations, like this company's like great, and I think especially like inspiring the next generation, showing that there's other things that you can be doing along the side. It's great.
It's so difficult because you have to be as dedicated as the men, and you're giving so much of your life to your sport. But then obviously, like you say, if you were to take a job as like a waitress through the week or whatever, you're not going to be able to give it the same dedication to the training and the diet that hopefully you'll be able to now with Sports for Champions. How is your approach to diet?
I'd say I eat particularly well, but I wouldn't say I'm too strict on myself. Like I think eating everything in moderation is how I go. Like I don't say, oh, I'm not gonna have that one bar of chocolate, like, but like I might have one rather than some people might eat 5. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think I eat particularly well, and obviously you get a lot of help from the club and stuff, which is nice.
Have you got a favourite cheat meal? Go to?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah, love a good pizza.
What's your greatest moment in your sport?
I'd say signing my first pro contract. I think as a kid, like you always want to achieve that, like become a pro. So yeah, signing my first pro was big, and just knowing that people actually believe in you, it's a great feeling.
Can imagine. And your greatest challenge?
I'd probably say injury so young, because obviously having surgery, you just go through, I feel like as a footballer you kind of go through thinking things are going to be plain sailing until you actually experience it. So I think when I got injured, it was initially a big challenge, but then I think obviously mentally it's a good thing to have. Like it changes you and it makes you think about different things, and obviously, like I said earlier, you come back better.
Yeah, it's maybe quite good to get it out of the way early rather than like mid-season when you're at your absolute peak.
Yeah.
In terms of a legacy, is that something you think about?
Yeah, definitely. I think in terms of like the younger generation, I'd just hope to be someone that people look up to, and like my family, just try and do the best I can for them and get to the highest level I can for them.
And in terms of advice, if you were to give one piece of advice to a young person who's thinking about pushing for a career in football, what would you say?
I'd just say take every opportunity that you get, and always work hard, but at the same time I think the most important thing is to enjoy it. Obviously you've got to put all your work in, but never take it too seriously, because whatever you're enjoying it, for me, you're playing the best your best football. So yeah, never shy away from opportunities and just go for it.
Yeah, that's great advice and a great note to end it on. Thank you very much for joining us today.
No worries.
And thank you to everyone for joining us at home. We'll see you next time. Cheers.